Born of nuclear radiation and destined to walk the earth forever, welcome to Godzilla Reviewthon! What's up, YouTubers on the world? Make a Geek Mixer here, ready to give you guys the 22nd installment of the Godzilla franchise, and let me just let the title speak for itself. That's right, guys. Godzilla vs. Destroyah. Awesome title secrets, right? Well, first off, guys, this is another one of my top 5 Godzilla films. I'm not going to tell you guys what my #1 favorite film is. I'm going to say that for another day, but all I can say is there's a reason why this is one on my top 5 Godzilla films, and that is simply for what this entire movie was all about: the death of Godzilla. That's right, guys. Godzilla would die in this one. I can still remember hearing from other people on YouTube and other people everywhere talking about how when they were making this movie in 1995, it was even on the news. And who can blame them? I mean, we're talking about Godzilla, an icon who is going to meet his end. Crazy. And when you find out exactly how he's gonna die, it's something more. And that's how it starts off. You see, Godzilla is attacking Hong Kong, destroying everything, but he looks so different. He's glowing all over the place with orange skin and orange spines. His breath is stronger than ever. He's stronger than ever, but it's at the same time killing him. Why? Well, you guys know how Godzilla is a living nuclear weapon. Well, his heart is like a nuclear reactor. And you know reactors, they overload, they explode. And that's exactly what will happen with Godzilla, and he'll take the earth with it. At first, that's how it starts off, until later on things change to where he won't explode, but instead something worse. He's gonna have a nuclear meltdown when he hits 1200 degrees. That's right, guys. He'll melt down and melt down into the Earth's core and take the Earth with him. Crazy stuff, and the only way it could have been stopped was by the monster that was introduced in this film, one of Godzilla's most famous and evil monsters, along with one of his strongest enemies out there, Destroyah. And how's that? Well, easy, because Destroyah was created from the Oxygen Destroyer. He was created from the Oxygen Destroyer by first starting off as a micro life form that existed in the Precambrian area, but when the Oxygen Destroyer activated back in the original Godzilla, it awoken and mutated. And let me just tell you guys, when we are first seeing Destroyah, the way he's introduced is unlike any other monster that was introduced in the Godzilla franchise. And that is the fact that the soldiers were the ones to fight Destroyah first. There were many soldiers there, and seeing how it's using its beam against these soldiers and fighting them, and not to mention destroying that car, it was insane. And during that entire time, I was just like forgetting I was even watching Godzilla there until I saw Godzilla again. It was crazy. And the way the Destroyer was designed during that time, it just made you know that this is all from Aliens. They took reference off of Aliens, especially from its jaw. Yeah, its jaw's extending out of its mouth, definitely something. But either case, though, when he got bigger and stronger, they knew that he might be the chance they have of Godzilla being destroyed, since he was created from the Oxygen Destroyer. But it turns out Godzilla isn't the first one Destroyer fights. Oh no, there's another monster introduced in this movie, and that's Godzilla's son, Godzilla Jr. Yes, guys, baby Godzilla, who went from little Godzilla, is now Godzilla Jr., a young adult and ready to show people he's not a baby anymore, because he takes on Destroyah first. And it is a great battle. He holds his own pretty well at first, and then he starts to have some struggles, but then he perseveres and beats Destroyah. Now, keep in mind, I say beat, he didn't destroy Destroyah. And that's because, well, Destroyah comes back even bigger than ever before, and his in his perfect form, not final form, mind you, perfect form. And just look at that thing. Is that not the very definition of an incarnation of the devil? This thing just very well represents an incarnation of the devil, if not a demon who is the worshiper of a devil. Well, I don't know how they came up with this, but that was like one of the best designs for a monster like Destroyah. I'm telling you guys, this is one of the other reasons why he is such a famous monster. The way he looks is incredible. But all that aside, when he came to, he ruined the little reunion that Godzilla Jr. and Godzilla were gonna have after Junior defeated him, because he comes in, spoils the reunion, takes Junior away, and then drops him knowing how many meters from the ground and blasts him. Just kills Godzilla Jr. in cold blood. That led into an emotional moment in seeing Godzilla cry. You guys, he can barely ever see Godzilla cry, and this right here was a very emotional spot. But all mourning had to be put on hold because Godzilla had to turn that grief into vengeance, as he had to take on Destroyah. But Destroyah is showing why he's one of the strongest enemy Godzilla's fighting. Now Destroyah's weakness is extreme temperature, no matter if it's hot or if it's cold. And the thing with Godzilla was, during this entire movie, being in that burning form called Burning Godzilla, his heat temperatures were out of control. And to be able to fight toe to toe and come out victorious in some of their bouts was something for Destroyah. That shows how resistantly durable and tough this guy is. And even though when he got to the point of Godzilla getting an advantage, he does the smart thing, and knowing that he's not durable, would split up and try to defeat him with his smaller forms as he recovered. But even that wouldn't stop Godzilla, until the point where Godzilla's temperature was getting closer to 1200 degrees, that his powers increased to an incredible level, to the infinite spiral heat ray taken on Destroyah and weakening him so much that the Japanese self-defense force would destroy him for good. But that is then where it would lead into the ending of it, and that's emotional scene of Godzilla meeting his end during the meltdown. And let me just tell you guys, seeing that scene was very tough to watch. I mean, I won't gonna lie, when I first saw that, I shedded tears, because after so long of Godzilla in the Heisei era, he ended like that. This is one of the emotional times of a famous icon dying. But luckily, though, he didn't leave without leaving a legacy behind. You see, Godzilla Jr., when he was being melted down, Godzilla Jr. absorbed the radiation and came back as the new Godzilla. So Godzilla Jr. would carry on his father's legacy. This is why I love this movie. But it's not just that makes this movie so great. The human plot was actually not bad either, because I liked how this movie, Godzilla and Destroyah, connected with the original Godzilla movie. Because here's the thing, in the original film you had the Yamane family as central characters. Well, in this movie you got the next generation of the Yamane family as central characters too. You got Kimichi Yamane and Yukari Yamane. So Kimichi Yamane was working with G-Force because he's the one who kept helping them discover Godzilla's condition during the entire movie and knowing what would happen. While you got Yukari Yamane, who was a news reporter who came across a scientist who also had ties with a scientist back in the original Godzilla, that being Dr. Serizawa. He had studied micro-oxygen and had designed something that could be very similar to the oxygen destroyer, and she was doing her best to make sure he would never do that. Unfortunately for her, that wasn't going to be possible because of Destroyah. And even more so, though, y'all remember Emiko Yamane from the original film? She made an appearance in this film, too, as the one to let them know that doctor's invention was exactly similar to Dr. Serizawa's, and how she kept pleading with everyone never to do it again, honoring her fallen friend's wishes. And so let me just say, guys, it was great seeing this connect with the Yamane family, who played central roles, and then they play in central roles 40 years later in this ending, this finale of the Heisei era. It was amazing, guys. I'm telling you, just pure greatness right there. And let's not forget Miki Sagusa, who was also in this. Her mission, mostly in the story, was trying to find Little One, and she did. And when Little One died, oh, was she heartbroken about it. Oh, not, but as much as she was heartbroken about that, she was also heartbroken knowing that Godzilla had died, because she was very heartbroken, even though she may have said this.
My job is to kill Godzilla.
Yeah, she said that with such grieveness in her, knowing that after all these years, a monster she had cared for so much has died. And she wasn't the only one who felt that way. Some members of G-Force, knowing that after Godzilla's died, you would think they'd be happy, but no, they weren't exactly happy. And I wouldn't say they were grieving, but it's almost like they felt empty. Well, that just goes to show how important Godzilla was to these guys in G-Force and all that. It was crazy. And not to mention the Super X3, this was also in that film. The Super X3, which I hadn't been seen since the Super X2 and Godzilla vs. Violante had a little battle with Godzilla. And during that battle, there was some special effects that was used during that scene that was very amazing when they froze Godzilla. It was definitely awesome to see. But guys, this is why I love this film. It's not just the monster battles and the monsters themselves and how they tie in with this story and the connection it has with the original film. This is one of the few films that truly connect with the original film. But also the characters, some of them are like forgettable, but in this one, it still felt great connection with them to see some of the next generation of the Yamane family, Miki Sagusa, and other people who have been in the Heisei series saga come to a conclusion and all. This is what makes Godzilla vs. Destroyah so great. Not just that, but most of all, the death of Godzilla. Now, guys, I could just go on and on and on why this is one of my top 5, but you guys have already heard me go on enough to know that this is part of my top 5. So I'm going to leave it at that. If you guys are enjoying my videos, all you got to do is click that like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell icon to be notified when I make more videos. And until then, I'll see you guys in the next Godzilla Reviewthon! Until then, Mega Geek Mixer signing out. Bye!